Alright guys, how's it going? I'm the Crown Fiend, and today I'm doing a collab with my boy, the Hollow Panther. This guy's been a good friend of mine for a while now. He started up a YouTube channel a little while ago, and I'm helping him out. He's also who helps me like go through my ideas and tell me which ones are bad ones, which ones work. So yeah, I'm really glad to finally be able to have him on the channel here. And anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself real quick, and then I'll break down the premise that what we're doing. Hollow, say hello.
Yo, what's good, my fellow Hollow? It's your boy, the Hollow Panther, coming at you with a good what if collab with my boy, Crown Fiend.
And today we're doing what if Naruto and Sasuke were in My Hero Academia. Now, how this is going to work is we're going to have two different characters' perspectives here going simultaneously throughout the story, but they're going to overlap in the certain events like the sports festival that will be done on Hollow's channel. Because since we're doing part one on mine, the next collab part will be on his channel. So make sure you guys subscribe to him because I won't be covering the sports festival whatsoever on my channel. So just letting you guys know that ahead of time. And I'm going to be taking Sasuke's route because Sasuke's route is going to be a lot darker than Naruto's. And, Hollow's going to take Naruto. So if you want to see what Naruto's going to be up to, go down to the description box down below. Subscribe to my boy Hollow Panther to make sure you guys never miss an episode of this series because this series is going to be fire. Now, this is how things are going to work. We're not going to have chakra in this whatsoever. Instead, we're giving them quirks. So, what we've decided to do, I'll explain Sasuke's quirk, and then Hollow can explain Naruto's quirk. So, here's how things are going to go for Sasuke. Sasuke's quirk is actually going to be the Sharingan. Now, how the Sharingan is going to work is he can copy people's physical movements just fine, as he can copy their quirks and use them, but it's for a set amount of time, like 5 minutes at a time, and no drawbacks. But as soon as the 5 minutes expires, he is heavily fatigued and will not be able to function at full capacity for a good bit of time till his stamina recovers. That is Sasuke's weaknesses, and his greatest strength is his Sharingan. Now, he will still be able to evolve it to the Mangekyo, all that, as Sasuke will have his mother and father, and Itachi will be in this as well. So that's enough about Sasuke for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and let Hollow talk about Naruto. Go ahead.
So, Naruto gonna have the chakra chains and the flying Raijin. And, like, later on in the series, he is gonna learn Sage Mode. And Minato and Kushino is gonna be alive in this series. So, that pretty much it for his abilities.
So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go through like their early childhoods real quick. So where we start this what if is Sasuke and Naruto are children and they're going to a separate kindergarten from Deku and Bakugo, as that's when they meet each other, like Minato and Sasuke's father, whose name really just slips my mind at the moment. Anyway, they're actually pretty good friends in this one. As for Sasuke, he grows up with a very bright and cheerful personality. Itachi is, playing with him as he comes home from work, which Sasuke doesn't know what Itachi does. As whenever Itachi's not around, Sasuke goes over to Naruto's house, they play games, whatever. It's a pretty happy little childhood they got going on for the first few years, but of course, things aren't going to stay that way. As Sasuke is progressing, as one day he comes home and it's a crime scene at his house, as he is shocked to see his mother and father have been killed. They're coming out on stretchers, as Sasuke has tears running down his eyes because today was supposed to be the day that they took him to go get his quirk evaluated. He didn't get the chance to have that with his parents, as he's crying as he's trying to be pushing through to see the incident, to see his parents, as All Might's there, and All Might, comforts Sasuke, and he says, "It's okay, son. You don't need to look at this. This isn't something that you should really see." As Sasuke is like, "No, it's my mother and my father. I need to see them. I need to see my mom and dad." As All Might just takes Sasuke away from the scene in his arms, as Sasuke just has tears running down his face as his Sharingan activates into the one Tomo states, as this is him as a little kid. So while all this is happening, Naruto, which I'm going to let Hollow here, tell what Naruto's doing at this time.
So during the time, Naruto would like being like pulling pranks with a boy with one of his closest friends, Tetsu. So him and Tetsu was playing pranks, training together, and when both Naruto and Tetsu were 4, they both unlocked their quirks. Tetsu's skin just turned like metal, and Naruto started suddenly like chains started coming out of Naruto's back. Naruto was scared and say, "What's going on?" Suddenly, he accidentally touched Tetsu. Tetsu was suddenly like a strange symbol came on Tetsu's arm, and after a while, not Zuki, after a while, Naruto, like Tetsu left to go somewhere, so Naruto suddenly teleported near where Tetsu was last known. Where that he was surprised. Then when Kushina and Minato saw what Naruto had done, they took him to the Quirk Doctor, and the Quirk Doctor explained to Naruto and Kushina, no, Minato and Kushina, that Naruto had the same quirk as them. So during the time, Minato was training Naruto about the flying Raijin. And other time, Kushina was training Naruto with the chakra chains. And Minato said, "If you complete your training with the flying Raijin, I will teach you one thing I learned during my training in the military." And Naruto said, "Okay." And that he's been doing, just training and pulling prank with Tetsu during the time when Sasuke was.
So while that was going on, when Sasuke was being took to the police station, they were actually going to be calling any of his relatives, but they saw he only had one living relative, and the relative that was left was named Itachi Uchiha, as they couldn't find anything with Itachi as his location, his line of work, or anything like that. Then Namasa came in there with All Might, as he says, "Hey, the kid can't go to his brother." As All Might's like, "What? Why?" As Sasuke's like, "Why can't I go to my brother? I want to see Itachi." As Namasa gets on one knee and looks at Sasuke and just says, "Itachi Uchiha killed your parents." As Sasuke's just like, "You're lying. There's no way older brother would do that." As Namasa says, "Believe it, kid. Your brother just killed your parents in cold blood. He probably would have killed you too if you were there." And Sasuke just says, "Let me join the police. Train me to be a police officer. I have to hunt him down. I have to find out why." As Naomasa says, "You'll never make it." As Sasuke just says, "Why?" As Naomasa grabs Sasuke by the collar of his shirt as he says, "Listen, kid, if you think being a cop is so easy, then I'm not going to stop you from trying. But I'm just going to let you know right here and right now, you'll never make it in this line of work. You'll be dead on your first day. So go ahead. Spend the rest of your life living blissfully ignorant, not knowing a damn thing of what we do for you guys. So, with that being said, still want to be a cop, kid?" as he throws Sasuke back in the chair. As All Might would grab Naomasa by the collar of his shirt, as he would say, "What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this to this kid? He just lost everything. Answer me." As Naomasa says, "You better put me down, All Might. Assaulting an officer is not going to look good on your record." As All Might puts Naomasa down, as other police officers burst into the room holding their guns at All Might. As All Might puts Naomasa down, as Naomasa says, "Stand down. It's just a misunderstanding." As All Might says, "We're going to have a long talk after this, Naomasa." As he says, "Sure, but get the kid out of here. I'm tired of looking at him." As All Might grits his teeth and looks angrily at Naomasa, as Naomasa just looks down and walks out of the room. And that's when they see that Sasuke has a very close friend named Naruto Uzumaki, and his parents are willing to take Sasuke in. So Minato is the one that actually comes up since Kushina's back at home watching Naruto. Naruto has no idea that any of this has happened, as Minato walks in and sees Sasuke as he runs over to Sasuke. He gets on one knee and says, "Son, you okay?" As he can tell, Sasuke has a bit of a bruise on him, as he demands to know why this child has a bruise on him. And nobody's wanting to say that it was Naomasa. Nobody. As Naruto, well, not Naruto, my bad, Sasuke, as Sasuke just looks at Minato and says, "Don't worry about it." As basically, Minato's just angry. He's so pissed off as he says, "Who did this?" And Sasuke just points at Naomasa as Minato's rage in his eyes as all the officers know Naomasa's fucked. But nothing that Minato can do. If he assaults an officer here, he goes to jail. So he grits his teeth and walks away as Sasuke comes to live with Minato, Kushina, and Naruto. As basically Sasuke is being treated for his bruise by Kushina, as Naruto's already asleep. So yeah, basically Sasuke is just up there staying up at night because he can't sleep. So Minato has a talk with him as he talks to Sasuke about everything that's happened and what paths he could take. As Sasuke just says that he doesn't know what he could do anymore. As Minato says, "Well, you can always become a hero, Sasuke. If you can't count on the police, a pro hero has more power than they do. After all, it's not like you have to answer to the police if you're a pro hero. Or you could always go military. Then you could really track down your brother if he did do this, if he's considered a terrorist after this." As Sasuke thinks that a hero is something he wants to be now. He doesn't want anybody to have to go through what he did. As Minato says that, once they take him to the quirk doctor tomorrow, then he'll actually tell him everything if he has a good enough quirk for it. If not, he'll train him the best he can, but he's given him no promises. And Sasuke goes to bed. So after that, when Sasuke wakes up and him and Minato go to the quirk doctor, they discover that Sasuke has a very powerful quirk and is very rare, that only certain people within his bloodline have been able to obtain. As basically Sasuke just says, "So it's really powerful?" As the doctor says, "Yes, you could become an amazing hero with this quirk." And keep in mind, it's not Dr. Ujiko, so he has no risk of his quirk being stolen. And while Sasuke's at the quirk doctor, I'll let Hollow say what Naruto's up to.
So when Sasuke at the quirk doctor, Naruto is like goofing off with Tetsu, still doing little pranks and having fun. and also training with Tetsu on him and his quirk. Had fun. Then suddenly, a couple of bullies was bullying some girl. Like Naruto was getting pissed off, saying, "Why the hell are they bullying that girl for?" He found out it's a girl with purple hair with ear jacks on her on the end of her ears, and Naruto said, "Hey, leave that girl alone." He said, "Whatever, kid." And suddenly Naruto punched one of the bullies in the face and started fighting the bullies. But and but in the long run, the bully ended up beating up Naruto, bruising him. And finally, when Tetsu came and trying to back him up, the bully said, "Okay, we're done here." Then he ran off, and Naruto asked Naruto, "He okay?" He just wiped his face. He said, yeah, I'm okay." And the girl said, "Thank you for saving me." He said, "Oh, no problem." "Oh, where are my manners? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. What's your name?" And the girl said, "Oh, I'm Kyoko Jiro. And nice to meet you." "Oh, nice to meet you too, Jiro." And Tetsu said, "Oh, I'm Tetsu." And the door he was talking to Jiro and getting to know her. And Jiro asked what he want, what's his goal and dream. Oh, and Naruto said, "Oh, my goal and dream to become a great hero like uh like the hero Hawks. Believe it." And after a while, Jiro's parents came to took her home, and Jiro told what Naruto did for her. Both Jiro's parents said thank you. I, I really appreciate you helping our daughter out. Naruto said no problem, and that's what we do. Then after a while, he went back to hanging out with Tetsu. Then he went back home. Saw then Minato and Sasuke came back.
And when Minato and Sasuke came back, basically he would ask Naruto about his day, and Sasuke would notice that Naruto actually has a bit of, you know, hit marks on him and a little bit of scrapes, as Sasuke would ask, "Who did this to you?" As Naruto would just say, "Some punks. Don't worry about it, Sasuke." As he asked Sasuke what his quirk is, as Sasuke would tell Naruto everything his quirk could do, and Naruto's like, "Wait, so could you copy my teleportation quirk?" As Sasuke's like, "I don't know, I haven't practiced with my quirk at all." As that's when Minato would say, "We're not about to have Sasuke try to do something that could get him lost. The teleportation quirk I gave, well, didn't give you, but it's passed down to you from me, is very dangerous. So you need to be careful with it." As Sasuke would say, "Aren't all quirks dangerous?" As basically, Minato would say, "That is very true. Sasuke, your quirk in particular is something you need to be very careful with. You can't use it recklessly." And with that, the days would pass as, Sasuke would train with his quirk with Minato. He really wouldn't train with Kushina because Minato already knows that Sasuke's seen the darker side of life, and he needs to prepare Sasuke to walk down that darkness to reach the light that he has to obtain only by walking through this dark path that he's already set on. So he tells Sasuke about his past, as Minato's past was in his younger days before Naruto was born. He was in the Japanese military as a covert assassin. Think special forces, but way more deadlier and lethal, as Minato only had himself as a teammate, as to not risk any potential information leaks. So he starts training Sasuke to be able to handle people that could teleport around, as Sasuke would, be very well trained in hand to hand combat. So Sasuke was already developing his muscular talents and his reflexes and agility that give him a supreme edge in most fights. As the days go on with Sasuke's training, he would see the two bullies that were bullying Jiro and that hurt his brother. As Sasuke would say, "Hey, let me come have a talk with you two. As they would say, oh, what do you want, kid? As Sasuke would immediately just start off with a kick to the face, as he says, that's for hurting my brother. As he would continually beat on the bullies so bad that they would be bloodied, as Sasuke would just run away, leaving them there. And pretty much he thinks that nobody saw him, but somebody did. As Sasuke's running back, as he cuts into an alley to take a little bit of a breather, and that's when Eraserhead jumps down in front of Sasuke and says, "Kid, what are you doing?" As Sasuke's just like, "I'm catching my breath. I was just on a run." As Eraserhead would tell him, "I saw what you did to those boys back there. I'm not gonna, take you away or anything like that. I just want you to know that's not the right thing to do." And Sasuke says, "But they're bullies. That's what they get, right?" As Aizawa would tell him, "No, that's not what they get. Kid, I'm a teacher. I know these things. And let me tell you, the path you're going on right now, if you're planning to be a hero, it won't fly. You need to be more controlled. There's better ways to handle things than with brute force alone. You need to be smarter. After all, most heroes these days are in the spotlight 24/7. It's something that we have to live with and accept. So I'll tell you again, what you did was wrong, and there's no real excuse for it, but what you actually have to do now is correct yourself moving forward and do things the right way." As Sasuke would really take what Aizawa said to home, as he realizes that he's not being much better than Itachi at this point. So, what he does is says thank you and tell Aizawa that he promises he'll move forward. And basically, Sasuke has no idea that, Aizawa is a teacher at UA, because he's still in elementary school at this point, so not really a whole lot that he can do or know about, really. So he heads on home and he just tells Minato what he did and apologizes to him and says that he'll do things a better way from now on. As Minato would scold him, and Sasuke would be grounded for a little bit, but he would be happy that Sasuke came to him, told him this, and is willing to move on from it. And I'm gonna let Hollow take the story a bit from here, and he's gonna go through all the way up through middle school, and then I'm gonna pick back up with the 10 months training.
All right. So after the while, like Naruto was like still hanging out with Tetsu, and 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 after a while, they were still doing their shenanigans, pranking people, and during one of their pranks, they got caught by the pro hero, by the by two pro hero, was the number two hero Endeavor and the wing hero Hawks. Naruto was excited and said, "Oh my God, it's the pro hero Hawks! I'm a huge fan. Can I please get your autograph?" Hawk said, "Of course." Hawk gave him the autographs, and Endeavor said, "Hawks, these kids were just doing illegal stuff. Look, look at them. They have paint all over their faces. We caught them red-handed. We should take them to the precinct or put them in the juvenile hall." Like the Hawk said, "Chill out, Endeavor. They're just kids. They're just goofing off." Like, no, it's a law for graffiti. Like, come on, man. They just kids. Just slap them, give them a slap on the wrist, and call it a day, man. Like, whatever. And Endeavor walked off. And Hawks did scold Naruto a bit. He said, "Don't." He do have a point. Graffiti is wrong, but he whispered in Naruto's ear like, "Next time, don't get caught." He told him a few good spots to put graffiti at, and he just flew off. Said, "Have a great day, you two." He said, "Okay, thank you." Like, then during the time they were just walking around. Then so the time like start of their middle school. So they are walking around, finding a next spot to print to do their painting at. Suddenly, they see a like two girls getting interrogated by a big giant man and a boy right across the street looking at them already hardened up, just froze there. And Naruto said in his head, like, why are you just sitting there? Those girls need help. Naruto said, forget about it. He dropped his paint bucket, his paint bucket and his paintbrush, and dashed towards them and said, hey, leave them alone. Like, kids, stay out of it. I want to know what the police station is. Like, okay, the police station is around the corner. He said, all right, thank you, kid. Suddenly, it, suddenly the two girls said, thank you for saving us. And no problem. Then a girl with pink skin said, wow, I can't believe how brave you were. You really saved my friends. Thank you. Like, no problem. And he scratched to the back of his head. He's like, oh, where am I? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Who are you? Who you might be? Oh, my name is Mia Ashido. Thank you for saving my friends. Like, no problem. I hope you two have a great. I hope we see each other again. So, yeah, I hope so too. Then me and our friend walked away, do their own thing. And suddenly, Izuku got back. Not Izuku. Naruto went back to Tetsu saying, "All right, I'm back." Like suddenly, the boy with black hair and red eyes said, "Oh, how can you wait? I can't believe you actually did that. Weren't you scared?" Like, yeah, I was scared, but as a hero, I had to save people. That's the true meaning of a hero. And oh, who are you? Oh, the boy with the black hair said, "Oh, I'm Enji Kirishima. Who you might be? Oh, I'm Naruto Uzumaki." And the guy with and I'm Tetsu. Like, so what's your quirk? Like, oh, I have a hardening quirk. Like, Tetsu said, "Oh, me too. I have a hardening quirk too, but I could turn my skin into iron." And Kirishima asked Naruto, "What's your quirk?" "Oh, I have two quirks. I have a teleportation quirk and a chain, like a type of chain quirk, like that I call it chakra chains." And yeah, it's okay to be afraid, but you have to have courage in you, kid. Like that, you stay to be like. They be a loner and want graffiti and pulling pranks. And during the time Kirishima did have dyed his hair red and spiked up his hair. Loser, like, huh? So you bullying him because he's quirkless? That ain't cool, yo. Not how a hero be supposed to be. What are you supposed to? Why would you care about a person you never knew? Like, not right. Like, bullying is wrong. Bullying, you try to be a hero, right? And the guy said, "Yeah, of course I try to be a hero. I'm trying to be the number one hero, more better than All Might." Like, how you gonna be more better than All Might if you bullying a boy who was quirkless? Like, I don't know, I don't know who you are, kid. You don't talk to the great Koski Bakugo like that. Oh, nice to meet you, Bakugo. Let me introduce myself. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I will become a pro hero like 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 the hero Hawks. Believe it. Like, really? You think you'd be a better hero than me? What's your quirks? Like, oh, I have two quirks. I have a teleportation quirk and a quirk called chakra chains. Those quirks not the quirks are useless against my quirk. Like, Naruto said, "Oh, what's your quirk?" "My quirk is explosions." Like, oh, explosion, huh? That's a quirk for a terrorist. Like, what you say? This Bakugo about to shoot explosion at Naruto. Naruto uses chakra chain, shoot it out of his arm to wrap both of Bakugo's hands to stop him. Then punched him in the gut with his left hand. He said, "All right, are you done bullying this kid?" He said. Bakugo said, "Go to hell." And then Naruto punched him again. He keep punching him and punching him. Suddenly, the goons are about to come. Naruto just threw a wooden three-pronged kunai and teleported with Bakugo. Then the bully was punching straight air. Then Naruto threw a dull kunai that his father gave him at the bully. Said, "Okay, the next time you try to interrupt you get next time you won't be dull." Like the two bullies both their sweat drops. Like, okay, I'm getting out of here. This guy's crazy. Bakugo said, "Come back here, you cowards!" Suddenly, both Kirishima and Tetsu came to Naruto's aid and saying, "Yo, Naruto, that's enough. I think he had enough." Like, oh, fine. Then he let go of the chakra chain and said, "You better go after your little goons." Like, whatever, kid. And suddenly, the boy with the green hair said, "Thank you for saving me." Like, no problem. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. And the guy with the red hair said, "Oh, I'm NG Kirishima." And the one with the gray hair said, "Oh, I'm Tetsu. Who are you? Who you must be?" "Oh, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you three." So why Naruto said, why would this guy why Bakugo was bullying you?" "Oh, because I was quirkless. Ever since me and Kasha used to be good childhood friends. Now, ever since I was diagnosed quirkless, he been bullying me ever since. Him and his little goons." "Oh, that's too bad. I feel bad for you. Why don't you tell your mom, or at least your dad?" Like, "Oh, I, I want to worry my mom and my dad. My dad, my dad is is overseas." "Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry about that. At least, at least learn how to defend yourself." Like, yeah. Uh, So Naruto, so Naruto asked Izuku, said, "What's your dream in life?" And and Izuku said, "Oh, my dream to become the number one hero, just like All Might." Like, "Oh, really? Uh, all you need to do? Hmm, we have the same dream then. My dream is to become a pro hero, just like the pro hero Hawks. Believe it." And Izuku's sweat drops. Said, okay." During like, all right. I hope Bakugo stop bullying you. If you ever need my help, Naruto gave Izuku his phone number. It's like, always call me. All right. And Izuku said, "Okay, thank you again for saving me, Naruto." Like, no problem. Then Naruto finally head back to Sasuke. Now I'm gonna pass it back to my boy Crown.
All right, so yeah, during that whole time, basically, Sasuke's just been hanging out by himself, but he has been keeping a close eye on Naruto. And since he was watching the whole ordeal with Naruto, Kirishima, and Tetsu with Bakugo and Deku, basically, he would just tell Naruto when he sees him again, "Hey, I got something I gotta do. Head back home and tell mom and dad I'll be home late." As Naruto would just say, "Huh? Alright, sure, Sasuke, you've been acting weird lately." Sasuke just says, "No, I just forgot there was something I had to do." As he runs off and tells Naruto that don't forget to tell mom and dad that he'll be back late. As Naruto says, "Alright, fine, but you owe me, Sasuke." As Sasuke says, "Yeah, a bowl of ramen, gotcha." As Sasuke heads off as he's running, and he finally finds Izuku as he says, "Hey, kid." As Izuku looks back and sees Sasuke, and he's like, hello, who are you?" As he would say, "The name's Sasuke Uchiha. My brother just helped you out. His name's Naruto Uzumaki." As basically Deku's just like, yeah, that's your brother? Why are your last names different?" Sasuke says, "Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm here to offer you help." As Deku's just like, "What type of help?" As Sasuke says, "I want you to be my training partner. My quirk isn't very physical, so we'll be about the same level. And I could help you learn to defend yourself. Sound like a good deal?" As Deku just asks, "And what do you get out of this?" As Sasuke says, "Well, I'm incapable of watching my own self, so I need you to point out any weaknesses I have in my fighting style. That acceptable?" As basically Izuku would say, "Yeah, sure, that's fine." As he says, "Alright, we're gonna meet somewhere tomorrow. Here's my phone number. I'll text you what time you tell me what place." As Deku's like, sure, yeah, that's fine." As basically, Sasuke says, "Alright, well, see you. And oh, if that blonde loudmouth decides to come after you again, don't call Naruto. Call me. And matter of fact, I'll make sure he never bullies you again." As Deku has a huge sweating reaction to Sasuke saying that, since he says it with a cold look in his eyes and a smirk, as he just walks back, as basically he's just like, this cannot end up too well. As, Sasuke heads back, as he gets home and Minato asks Sasuke what he forgot, as Sasuke, just holds up a textbook he bought. As Minato says, "Oh, studying for your entrance exams, huh?" As Sasuke says, "Yeah, I don't know what's going to be on there, but I'm guessing physics is going to be part of it." So he just takes the book to his room, as he just opens it up, studies it, as that's when Naruto knocks on his door. And basically, Sasuke just says, "Oh, yeah, here. They didn't have a bowl, but cupped ramen seems applicable enough, yeah?" Naruto says, "Yep, thanks, Sasuke." And basically, Sasuke spends the next few days training with Deku because he's notices that Deku is very analytical and analyzing, as he writes down everything that Sasuke does and shows him exactly where he's making a mistake and what the misstep is. So Sasuke's first actual friend outside of Naruto is actually Deku, as basically Sasuke's like, "Okay, well, that's a good deal for today, right? Let's head on home." As Sasuke heads home, as he starts to see explosions going off, as he starts running over there to see what's going on, because it's close to where he, you know, departed ways from Deku. As he runs over there and sees this huge sludge filling encase this dude with blonde hair and red eyes, as he's like, "Wait a minute, that's that kid from before. What the hell's going on?" As he looks around and none of the pro heroes are doing anything. And Sasuke wants to help so bad, but he remembers what Eraserhead told him. There's a better way to do things. You can't just go and break the law. As he sees, Deku's right over there, as Deku's about to run out there, as Sasuke tries to get to him to stop him, but it's too late because of the huge crowd. As Deku starts running over there, Sasuke, he says, "To hell with this," as he runs over there as well, right behind Deku. And people just see two kids running out there, as they're just panicking and losing their minds. They're just like, "What the hell's going on?" And pretty much as soon as Deku's pulling out, Kachan are trying to, Sasuke gets there, as he is able to jump up on the sludge villain and get a better grip on Bakugo, as he says, "Sorry, but I'm gonna copy that." As he activates his Sharingan, which at this point are a two-tomo Sharingan each, because he's had many years to develop it and train it, as he uses Bakugo's explosion quirk and blasts the sludge filling along with it, giving Deku leeway to really pull Bakugo all the way out. And that's when Sasuke jumps before the sludge filling can get his hands on Sasuke. He grabs Bakugo with Deku and they run back. And that's when All Might jumps right on in and punches the sludge villain, creating that sudden rainstorm. As Sasuke is just like, "That's incredible. He has so much power. It's insane." As Deku's like, "That's All Might for you. He's the number one hero for a reason." And Sasuke says, "Yeah, way too flashy as that." And basically, when Sasuke tells Bakugo he needs to thank Deku, And Bakugo just says, "No way in hell am I thinking that quirkless loser." As that's when Sasuke just trips Bakugo, knees him in the stomach, and grabs him by the back of his shirt collar and says, "Thank him now, or you're gonna get some more." As Bakugo just says, "Let me go, jerk off," as he tries to throw an explosion at Sasuke. Sasuke sees it coming with his Sharingan, grabs Bakugo's arm and twists it around his back as he says, "You gonna thank him, or do I need to break your arm?" As Deku just says, "Just let him go, Sasuke." As Sasuke lets him go, as Bakugo walks off, pissed off and embarrassed now, twice in one day, as basically Deku says, "You don't always have to go that far to get people to try and thank you. After all, even if they don't thank you at all, it's enough to know you did the right thing." And Sasuke says, "Yeah, but he was bullying you. Don't you think that you at least need some thanks, or at least an apology, for him bullying you all this time? After all, you're the only reason I jumped in there to save his life." As Deku's like, "What? Why?" As Sasuke looks at Deku and says, "Because you're my friend. I don't want anything bad to happen to those I care about. Never. Ever again." And he tells Deku that he'll see him tomorrow. As Deku just says, "About that, I'm gonna need a few days to recover. After all, I need to start studying for the UA entrance exams." As Sasuke says, "Oh, you're going to be going to UA. What a coincidence. My brother and I are also going to UA. So, I guess to make things interesting, we'll just go ahead and hold this little contest. See who can actually get stronger, right?" As pretty much Deku says, "Yeah, sure. We'll go ahead and try that." And pretty much Sasuke says, "Alright then. I'll see you at the entry exams in 10 months. And when Sasuke is walking back, you know, he looks back and sees, Deku walking away as Deku makes a turn into that housing district. As he hears Deku, kind of scream, Sasuke immediately turns back around, runs over there, and sees All Might right there in front of Deku. As All Might or Deku haven't seen Sasuke yet, he decides not to really make himself known. He wants to listen to this for a good little bit, as he's just chillin', hiding, as he's listening to All Might's explanation about his quirk. As Sasuke's like, "Huh, that's interesting. I didn't know it could get passed on like that. Anyway, I've heard enough. I'll head on back." As he can just hear Deku crying that after all this time, his idol just validated him, Sasuke smiles and heads on back home. And Sasuke was on the news because Minato was watching that as he just teleports right there in front of Sasuke and he says, "Sasuke, we need to have a talk." As Sasuke's just like, "Oh shit." As Minato grabs him and teleports him home. As basically, as soon as they appear in the kitchen, Kushina just hugs Sasuke and says, "Are you alright? You're not hurt, are you?" Sasuke just smiles and says, "I'm fine, really." As he looks at Naruto as he just says, "Not a word out of you, knucklehead." As pretty much, Sasuke just goes with Minato to get his lecture. As soon as they get into the room, Minato makes a huge ruckus saying, "What the hell is wrong with you? You could have been killed out there. You're not a pro hero, damn it, not yet. You still have a long ways to go. And what have I told you about using your quirk out there with no regard for what could happen? I'm disappointed in you, Sasuke. Really." As Sasuke's just like, "If I didn't do anything, they could have died." And Minato says, "You don't know that for sure. There were plenty of other heroes there." As Sasuke says, "Other heroes that weren't doing shit. What do you want me to do? Just look at someone in need of help and run away? I can't do that. Not ever again. My family's dead. because of some people like that. I will never be them. I will never let anyone else get hurt. That I swear. I don't want to see anyone else I care about die, especially when I have some power to help them out. And pretty much, Minato just says, I understand, but damn it, I'm trying to protect you. You broke the law out there today. That's not something a hero does. As Sasuke just says, I know, and I'm sorry. As Minato says, what about the better way? As Sasuke just says, what other better way was there? I had to act. I couldn't be there standing in fear, watching one of my only friends risk his life to save someone who was bullying him so hardly. I can't allow that. Never will I allow that. As Minato just hugs Sasuke and says, I know, son, I know. I'm proud of you. I really am. Just think more carefully before you act. All I'm asking of you. As basically Sasuke just says, yeah, alright. As pretty much after that whole ordeal is done and over with, he walks in there to Naruto and says, well, we got 10 months. I'm not going to be meeting Izuku anytime soon. We made a deal. Let's see who can get stronger. So how about some brotherly sparring? And I'm gonna head over to Hollow so he can do the first 5 months, and then I'll take over with the rest of the 5 months. So, Hollow, it's all yours.
Oh, all right. He said after what Crown said, he said, "All right." Naruto said, "All right, believe it. I'm gonna get stronger than you, Sasuke." He said, "I like to see you try, knucklehead." So during the first month of training, both Naruto and Sasuke were doing some light sparring. Then after they done their first light sparring, Minato asked Naruto to come here. Like Minato, and Naruto said, "What is it, Dad?" Like I said, you did master the flying rising. Now I'm gonna teach you the move that I created. He said, "Really? What is it?" It's called Sage Mode. So it's gonna take you 10 months to you to fully master Sage Mode. So I'm starting today for your training for Sage Mode. Only I would ask Sasuke, but I don't know if Sasuke could handle the amount of chakra nature to do Sage Mode. It's like, oh, okay. And with his quirk, the shot, I don't know how the Sage Mode gonna be affecting the shouting gun. So that's why I'm not acting Sasuke. That's why I'm training strictly you on the Sage Mode. Naruto said, "All right, when we start?" He said, Tomorrow." So when the next day come, Sasuke said, "You ready for some light training?" Training Naruto was like, I can't, Sasuke. I'm about to train with my father. My father. I'm like, oh, I understand. He said, oh, I understand. I'm probably gonna do some kunai training, but in the backyard. I said, all right. So during the time, he was like doing meditation. He was doing meditation with Minato, trying to master Sage Mode. So I want to skip for like 2 months, like 3 months into the Sage Mode training. Naruto was managed to have his eyes looking like frog, looking a little bit, his left eye looking frog-like, and Minato said, like, good job, you get used to having one in your eye becoming the Sage Mode. Now we need to focus on putting it into your right eye. This will increase your strength and abilities with the Sage Mode. And Naruto said, "All right, okay, let's continue training." During the time of their training, he hadn't been training with Kirishima or Tetsu. They both said during the time when he would talk when Sasuke was talking to Deku, he told his three friends saying, "We'll make a challenge to see which one of us could go to UA." And they started their training. So now I'm gonna skip to like another 2 months. Naruto is almost he had like almost mastered Sage mode. So he had both of his eyes are in the Sage mode state. So during those time of training, he been focusing on staying in Sage mode for a long period of time, and he wanted to keep that Sage mode the secret from Sasuke, so he won't like to try to get an edge on him. Because every time they do their light sparring, Sasuke always had the edge in raw talent. So during that time, he's been trying to maintain maintain Sage mode and learn more, learn more defined tricks, thing to do with his flying Raijin. He learned how to use multiple kunai to teleport with his flying Raijin, and Minato taught him the secret of making seals to put on his flying Raijin. And Naruto was like getting good with making seals. He learned to like make seals with scrolls, put like stuff like put all his ninja weapons in a scroll because of his teachings. And suddenly Minato said, "Oh, I could probably teach. I have a long term. I had a friend in high school who could probably fully teach you the mastery of Sage mode." Like, really? Who is he? Like, I gave him a call. He said he will meet you. Who will train you tomorrow afternoon. He said, "Okay, I can't wait to meet him." And during the time, he came to tomorrow afternoon. Then suddenly, Naruto said, "Oh, Dad, where the guy who's supposed to be training me?" He said, suddenly a man with with long white hair with a weird headband had the sign of the symbol of oil, and and Minato said, "Naruto, this is my long term friend Jiraiya." It's like, oh. Then the Jiraiya said, "Oh, this must be my godson. You was Naruto Uzumaki that you keep telling me about." Like, wait, you're my godfather? Like, yes, I am. And I see you have your father would teach you the way of Sage mode. He laughed like, I could teach you the way of Sage mode myself. Cause I did your father during our time in high school and college. Like, wow, really? I can't wait. So it's been like so during the rest of, now I'm gonna pass it to Crown for another 5 months because Naruto gonna be training with Jiraiya and Minato.
Okay, so basically, while Naruto was going all through his stage mode training, Sasuke was doing different types of training for combat purposes. He basically did a lot of martial arts parkour, just stuff to build up his stamina, as he's also a gymnast, so he's already getting his agility and flexibility up even more. So during the last bit of the 5 months, he would actually meet somebody. It would be the same person he met as a child, Eraserhead. As Eraserhead would recognize Sasuke immediately from the look in his eyes, as he would say, "Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here all by yourself?" Which Sasuke was all the way in some back alley deal by himself, as Sasuke would just say, "I'm doing parkour. That's not illegal, right?" As as I would just tell him, "No, it's definitely not illegal. But why are you practicing parkour in this alleyway?" As Sasuke would tell him, "It's for my entrance exams. I have 5 more months before I have to get ready to do my entrance exams at UA." And basically, Aizawa says, "Do you have anybody to help train with?" As basically Sasuke would say, "No, I don't. I'm all by myself. I've mainly been self-taught for a while now. Father's seeming to favor training Naruto more and more. And since it's training I can't compete in, I've been stuck to do things by myself." As I would say, "Well, how about this? I'll train you. As basically, Sasuke accepts, as he would say, very well, what do I call you? As pretty much he says, just call me Aizawa Sensei. As Sasuke would say, very well, Aizawa Sensei. As he would start training Sasuke in more aggressive martial arts, really exploiting all of Sasuke's openings and sloppy habits he had during his fighting. As little as they were, it really helped Sasuke grow leaps and bounds with combat training, as well as using his kunais that he had for extra damage, but in a non lethal way. As basically, Aizawa would realize that Sasuke had a lot of lethal techniques built up, as he would tell him that, look, I don't know where you learned all these lethal kill moves, but you don't need to bring them in to UA with you. Well, I guess for the entrance exams it would be alright, but after that, I highly suggest you don't use them. As Sasuke's just like, they're lethal? As I would say, you didn't know. Sasuke would say, I knew they were the best way to take an opponent down fast. As basically, as I would say, these are all kill moves used by military. I don't know where you learned these, but honestly, you shouldn't be using these as a little kid. And Sasuke would say, I'm no little kid. As basically, as I would say, yeah, speaking of which, show me your quirk. As pretty much Sasuke would activate his Sharingan, and okay, I'm gonna have to cut that part out. So Sasuke would activate his Sharingan, and pretty much, as I would say, your quirk's in your eyes, huh? As Sasuke would say, yeah, quirk's in my eyes. As he would immediately copy Aizawa's quirk, and he would actually activate it as Aizawa would go to activate his, but notice that his quirk wouldn't activate. He would say, this is the first time I've had my own quirk erased. As Sasuke says, yeah, my quirk allows me to copy others. I can use it for a set amount of time, but if it goes past 5 minutes, I pay a heavy price for it. As Aizawa says, what's the price? As Sasuke says, I'm pretty much unable to move. My stamina is shot. I'm left wide open. As pretty much, as I would say, yeah, that's a pretty steep price to pay, kid. So he says, well, let's help you work on that. So pretty much, the rest of the 3 months is just Sasuke training with Aizawa, getting better and better. As a more skilled hand-to-hand combatant, his muscles would be a lot like his canon Shippuden self, as Sasuke is really just, still a loner by nature, because he just doesn't want to let a whole lot of people in. But those he does let in, he really does care for. As pretty much, Aizawa is saying that, alright, kid, looks like that's all I got left to teach you, for now. If you get into UA and are able to get in my class, then we'll see if I can train you some more. As Sasuke says, I'd appreciate that. I'll do everything I can to make sure I do get into your class. After all, I'm not too worried about the physical part. Academics, that's something else entirely. But I study every night, so I should be alright. As pretty much, Sasuke would head on home. As Minato would say, oh, Sasuke, you're home awfully early today. Sasuke says, yeah, I finished up training early today. As basically, Minato would say, hey, I'm sorry I'm not able to spend a lot more time training you. It's just that with this type of training, if you have a busy mind, and with your quirk entirely, I'm not sure how it would really work, since you already pretty much use internal energy for your quirk. Adding more, disrupting it could have unforeseen consequences, and I don't want anything to happen to you. So I'm sorry that you're not able to do this, but it's just something that will help out more. As Sasuke would just say, I understand. After all, if it's something that has to do with my eyes and potential problems with them, I'd rather not do it. As pretty much, Minato would say, I'm glad you understand. As Sasuke would just say, yeah, I understand. So, pretty much, Sasuke heads to his room as he starts studying more for one final night, as the entrance exams are tomorrow. But that's where we're going to be leaving this off for. So, after we get done with this one, we're each going to be doing our own separate parts from this point on. Meaning, until the sports festival, to figure out what Naruto's doing if you're on my channel, you'll have to go see what, Hollow Panther's putting out. If you want to see what Sasuke's doing, you're going to have to stay tuned to my channel to find out. Whatever happens, I hope you guys enjoy this What If, because we're going to have a lot of fun filming this. So, I want to thank Hollow Panther for coming on today, and I'll let him say a few words, and then I'll continue back. So, Hollow, they're all yours.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this first part of this what if. We really wasn't thinking about this collab, and I do want to apologize. We didn't do our three-way collab yesterday because one of our friends wasn't. I don't know what he wasn't in the mood to do it. Hope you do enjoy this collab, and that's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you again, Hollow, and hope to see you again soon.
Yep.
So, I'm just going to touch a little bit more basis on what Hollow meant by the three-way collab. And, you know, don't make any jokes like that. Hey, come on. Be serious here for a minute. So, we were going to originally record, what if, Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto had personas, but, we weren't able to work out the scheduling with everybody. So, yeah, that's still planned. It's just going to be put on the back burner for a little bit. And I hope you guys enjoy this collab with the Naruto and Sasuke in My Hero Academia, because, to be honest, I'm going to enjoy this one. It's going to be one of my more enjoyable ones, as I'm really glad I'm getting to do Sasuke's route, because, like I said, he's going to have a more darker history going forward and path to walk than Naruto is. But how it all turns out, I hope you guys enjoy. As always, find Hollow Panther's channel linked in the description below. Go check him out, as he's currently doing, What If Deku Was the Red Hood, as he has What If Deku Was the Son of Cyclops also on his channel. So if you guys are interested in that, go down there and give him a like, tell him what you think of his videos. And if you guys really do enjoy his content, consider subscribing to him. But with that out of the way, I've been the Crown Fiend. I would appreciate it if you guys would like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, click that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and peace.